Hello, my name is Lorenzo Rodriguez, and this is my conference presentation for Philosophy 242. Now, my presentation is about implementing these devices within major urban cities in order to pay back or make up the amount of energy used and to be able to also clean the air of pollution with certain types of air filters that also produce energy. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the devices I was just talking about. The first of that, I'm using one called PaveGen. PaveGen is a device that's able to actually make energy from people actually walking, and with that it also is able to give back to all the users of such by giving them rewards in a way. Now, it only produces at the minimum 2 joules every step. Now, I know that's not much, especially for how much the cities use, but we'll move forward. Now, this air filter, although it doesn't have a name, it is able to actually produce the hydrogen gas by filtering out the polluted air. And because there's actually no numbers that we can pull from this, I'm using a transparent air filter that's been developed. It's able to remove PM 2.5 with also catching everything that's greater than 250 microorganisms per cubic meter cubed. Now, in order to actually implement these, I have taken 3 cities and have measured all the energy used, the amount of air pollution, and the amount of foot traffic they have. Now, to begin with, we have New York City, and before I actually move on, each of these cities have recovered very well from their air pollution during recent times, so all the measurements that I'm taking is more of a 2018 to 2019 instead of the current time, just to have a sense of normacy within these measurements. Now, New York City, New York uses 11 billion watts an hour per day, which I've measured the amount of I've measured the amount actual per day instead later on. Now, with that being said, they have a 0.2 UG during 2018 to 2019 and about 380,000 pedestrians at Times Square alone. Next is being Las Vegas, one of the most attractive places to tourists all around the world. Now, with that, we will take this statement of 8,000 megawatts from 2015 and using the measurement of 20,000 kilowatts every year from that point, we're about 8,100 megawatts this year. And with that being said, we also do have a 6 microorganism per cubic meter and an average of 17,700 people walking on the strip at constant times. Now, San Francisco uses about 18,000 megawatts uh, uses 18,000 megawatts every day. They have about a 12.6 microorganism in the air and about 884,000 residents. For this measurement, I'm only taking the residents because it's a bit unclear from the statement alone. Now, that being said, if the cities were to implement this, New York City, well, since a watt would equal about 1 joule, if it would be implemented to Times Square, it would actually make about 0.76 megawatts every day. Now, in order to make back as much energy used in a day, they would need about 132 steps to be counted in order to, again, make back the energy used in a day. Now, with this, since the air molecules are actually bigger than what is required from the transparent air filter, used as an example, we will be able to filter out the air of 90%. Las Vegas would be able to produce about 0.0354 megawatts every day and 4 billion steps every day in order to reach a sense of equilibrium with the energy used and the energy spent. Air pollution would be also able to clean about 90% of the harmful chemicals because the same reason as New York City. San Francisco would also have this 90% of the harmful chemicals because the size of theirs is actually still bigger. Now, San Francisco uses about 1.768 megawatts generated from the residents alone and would need 9 billion steps in order to reach equilibrium. Now, with all that being said, there comes a lot of backlashes if implemented. Now, the price to integrate, well, since the filter has nothing, I've taken the PaveGen. So, using this citation, we get at least a $75 fee per square foot to install. And with that being said, if it was to be implemented on the Las Vegas Strip alone, which is approximately 4 miles, it would cost $1,584,000 to cover from start to finish without any additional width. So that is 4 miles across and 1 foot tall. Now, maintenance. Both of these devices will need maintenance. Of course, the way air filters work, it will eventually slow down and need to be replaced constantly. And since it's an air filter and it's collecting, it won't be able to work at a full 100% as it begins to collect more and more throughout time. Now, the PaveGen, from what I've tried looking for, there is no record of it being replaced so far, but eventually, due to wear and tear of the device, it will need to be replaced in due time. Energy problems. Well, getting down to it, there is no guarantee that the amount of energy being made from these devices would ever be able to reach at least a state where they don't need to pay for the amount of energy used every day. To say that they would and to completely rely on these devices would be a mistake. Now, that being said, the filter has not seen any progress since 2017 when it was first discovered or invented. And because of that, we don't have any numbers for the filter. Everything was a hypothetical sense. So there's no guarantee that what I've said is even what will be produced once it does come into a full working sense. Now, with that, the filter needs energy in order to work. We can't just put it down. So some of the energy made by the filter will actually go back into the filter in order to, again, work to the full extent. Now, these are my works cited. That is the end of my presentation, and thank you.